very lucky to have Christine Naro on. She's a CRA for a sponsor. She's also a former study coordinator. She's also a perfect example of somebody who networks, like just completely takes networking to a whole nother level. Christine Naro, how's it going?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dan. And thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm so excited to learn about your CRA Academy students and what they're doing and share, my tips and tricks with them. And hopefully it'll help them out in once they're ready to find a job in the industry.
Just walk us through a day in the life of you. You're not a contract CRA, you work directly for the sponsor. So, a day in the life for you.
So I have to be very honest with you and with everyone here. And I don't monitor the sites. The CRO sends their CRAs to monitor the sites. So I'm not sure if my list of
Oh, I
action
like that.
items would match what you have there. But my day to day is basically, running through my emails. You have to stay on top of the emails, especially if you're managing, like, several sites or multiple studies. Just stay on top of it, try to organize it. You can color code your emails, or you can have them go into certain folders automatically. So definitely work your email to your advantage because you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss an invoice. You don't want to miss, a report of something very important like an AE and things like of that nature. So just make sure you stay on top of your email. And since I'm remote, of course, that's a big deal for me.
So you work
But
from
then,
home, completely from home.
yes, actually, this is my office right back here. So,
A
yep,
lot
I
of
work from
people,
home.
no, I'm glad that we have you on because a lot of students are asking me, hey, I want to be a CRA, but I don't want to travel. Is it possible? And I've always said no, more or less. But in your case, it's yes.
Yes, I do feel lucky, but I also feel like I have a little bit of FOMO, because being that I went from CRC straight to CRA and I've never gone to a site to monitor. I mean, I don't know how to feel. You know what I mean?
All right, so I guess it's safe to say there's not a like every day is different for you.
Um, yeah, it can be different. It just depends all on like what's coming down the pipe from leadership, right? And medical affairs and what exactly they're looking for. Because we have right now two ocular devices that are in my portfolio. And so it just depends on like sometimes they want to do claims and I'm involved in that too,
Mm,
which is not really necessarily related to research. It can be if they want to prove a claim. Of course, then it would take a protocol, but um, it's just very different.
yeah,
I
when you're dealing with the payers and all that stuff.
It's definitely not what I was expecting to do as a CRA. And kind of like what you say, Dan, is like you got to read the job description and figure out what they're really looking for. Because even though my job title is a CRA, I'm not really doing a lot of CRA work.
And you're working for like a relatively smaller company, right?
No, it's a big company, but medical affairs has only been around about 2 years, and the vision care is only two people under medical affairs.
Wow. And you're
Yes,
one of them.
I'm one of them. hmm
Okay. So how stressful is your job?
It can be pretty stressful, like depending on where we're at with the project. So, if you're at a point where you need the sites, you have a week, let's say spring break, right?
Mm,
Spring break, people are going to take vacation. So we were probably projecting enrollment to be 5 patients per site a week, but then that week rolls around and now they went dwindled down to one or two or zero. That can be a lot of pressure because then you got to reach out to CRO, reach out to the sites, set up phone calls,
mm,
meetings. How do we get this back up? Because, like, if the sponsor wants the study to last 6 months, and now, because of enrollment drops, it's going to go 9 months. That's a lot of pressure
right.
because you got to think about paying the sites, but you got to think about paying everybody involved, the vendors, the CRO. So it is a lot of pressure as far as like getting everything back on track.
It's like $1 million a day, and that was
Mhm.
pre-COVID numbers, so it's probably higher than that now. $1 million a day to do a study for like one sponsor, one study. So
Mhm.
That includes everything Christine said, like all the behind the scenes people. Rosie says, "What about someone like me with no CRA experience, but I feel like I have the qualities of a CRA when I look at job description? Who should I look to network with on LinkedIn?" Christine is one.
Yeah, you
Um,
could definitely add me. I would also join, the GCP Cafe on Facebook because there's a lot of experienced people there, but also people like the person that sent you that booklet, Dan. What was her name from Essentials because she has free
Tiffany
resources.
Ashton. Tiffany Ashton.
Hmm. So you want to get to know all these people that have public personalities or public, places where you can go and watch videos on what they do every day. And Tiffany Ashton, she posted something the other day about how to ship, what was it, bloodborne pathogens or investigational product or something. She showed
IP,
how to
yeah.
tape it and whatever. So you want to get one on one with those people that are posting because, they're the ones that are the experts and they're already showing you that they're willing to share their experiences by posting publicly. So I would definitely get with those kind of people.
Okay. Rukayedu says, "What's your advice working as a CRC, then to CRA as your starting point? Do you advise to start as a CRC for better background and understanding?"
I would say yes, even if it's just 3 to 6 months. Just do a short little stint as a CRC. And the reason is because you're never going to be able to get that experience if you don't work at the site. And once you go into CRA, it's kind of like in the military. I'm going to just give you a very simple comparison, right? You have some officers that go from enlisted to officer, and you have some that just join the military straight up without being coming enlisted first. And the ones that you're always going to want to work for are those ones that had the enlisted experience. So it's the same thing here. You want to work with people that have already done those things before at the site level, or at least are familiar with them, because they're going to be better able to work with those sites and they are going to be better able to understand certain situations and give them not necessarily points or tips or anything like that, but just help them out. And that's really what the sponsor wants because you got to get those sites audit ready.
Hmm. I agree. I mean, I think that the first job you get, take it in research. Okay, don't let too much time go, and you're all gonna have experience on your resume with the breast cancer study. So a lot of our former students went on to be remote site monitors. The CROs are hiring for those positions now. It sounded like Christine was gonna be in that role, remote site monitor, or something similar to that. So they're hiring for these kind of things. Of course, it's easier to get hired at the site level. They're smaller, especially if like related to Esther's next question. If one is already in healthcare, how deep do you both advise a new CRA to critique the data without annoying the PI, like lab values, vitals, how progress notes is written? I would critique it all. Like, you don't necessarily have to. So, when you're monitoring, you have a report. Okay, these are the reports Christine looks at as a sponsor CRA, and these are the reports you guys are going to send me actually when you do the internship. You put everything in your report. You document everything. It doesn't mean you're going to talk to the PI about all those things, but you document every single thing in there. The more detailed, the better. The sponsor is going to tell you to follow up on certain things. For example, if a lab value is high and the PI puts non clinically significant, that's generally okay. But if you realize, well, this is not okay, this might be adverse event unless it's part of medical history, you need to put that in your report and let the sponsor tell you how to proceed. And then when you have to call the PI, you have to bring it up. You know, like those few things. You're not gonna bring up everything. So, for example, if they're writing sloppy progress notes, meaning you can't read it, when you talk to the PI, you tell them, hey, in addition to like these other things I mentioned, your notes, I understand your doctor, your notes are just not legible. That's part of Alcoa is for legibility. Can you just make an effort? And you want to document that conversation in your monitoring report because if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So if the FDA comes to audit, they're going to say, why didn't this CRA ever say anything to the PI? And yeah, you could have said it 100 times on the phone or in person, but if it's not documented, nobody's gonna know. They have no way. The FDA has no way to recreate the moment in thin air. The technology's not there yet. Some people say we're getting to that point, but it's not there. You can't recreate what happened in the past. It has to be documented.
But I will say that the monitors that go out to the sites, they give me their feedback. They'll call me and report things that are not going well, and then I have to call the sites and have a heart to heart with them. So
Oh,
both
so
are
you
good.
actually do call sites.
Yes, I'll call the site
Wow.
if I need to, but it's not very often.
Let me tell you, as a site owner, we're used to CRA calling us all. My CRA just called me earlier today. We're cool, all that stuff. It's like whatever. But if the sponsor calls you, you know, number one, you better pick up. And number two, you better pay attention to what they have to say because they're not just calling to say hi. You know,
Right. So Carolyn
everybody.
wants to know, how do you ask for the salary range during interview without lowballing yourself? Well, I would say you want to look that up before you go to the interview. So go to like salary.com or those websites, where you can look up a salary because it's going to depend on your location. Even though you might be remote, still look it up anyway. And then I would go for like 5 or 10K more than what the website says because you can always come down, but you're not going to go back up.
Hmm.
So
Inflation, guys. Everything costs more now.
And then if you think it's too much or you don't feel comfortable saying that, say it anyway, but then say, let them know it's negotiable, that you're willing to discuss it if they want to give you a lower offer. And then, of course, at that point, you would have to decide on whether you would accept or not.
Did that come up in your interviews?
It did, but not in the two that I got the offers for. So I did stay thinking for a while, like, was it because I was asking for too much? But like one was in Dallas, so I was gonna have to move. So I thought I would, I had to ask for a certain rate.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm glad it didn't work out actually, because I would have never been where I am today.
You're in San Antonio, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. What is the starting range for CRA? It varies. It's all
Hmm.
over the place. Um, I would go to Indeed.com and Glassdoor.com and just look. It ranges all over the place. I would say 65K a year is starting. But you can go a little lower if it's like remote site monitor, but not too much lower either. Around that around that starting range. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Like we had a great group right now asking lots of questions and we had a great guest, Christine Naro, who's just getting started in this industry. So we're all going to get started together. Christine,
Hmm.
everybody go network with her. Thank you so much, Christine. Where do you prefer people reach out to you? LinkedIn?
Yes, LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me professionally, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. But of course, I'm also on Instagram, and other areas as well. I also have a link tree on my Instagram that you can check out. And I wish you all the best of luck. And I can't wait till you all start working in the industry because we need all of you. So
Yep. We
keep
need
working
more.
hard and don't give
Keep it
up.
up. Don't give up and wait till the internship. It's gonna get hard, guys. All right? Learn your stuff now. Learn it now. It's gonna get hard in the internship. I'm telling you right now. Thank you very
Yes.
much, Christine.